Hello and welcome to It's Giving Realty podcast, the podcast that gives you the realty in real estate. I'm your favorite realtor and host, Stylist Bartholomew, and I am here today with my favorite home inspector, Mr. Kenneth. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. The
Good.
fact that you have decided to sit down with me when I know like how you are, I just want to say thank you in advance. Okay. I called you and you're like, okay, I can show up if you need me to show up. But I definitely wanted to give my audience some insight when it comes to making sure you're buying a good home. It's kind of like when you buy a car, you at least you should go with a mechanic that you trust to make sure everything is good under the hood. And that's
Sure.
kind of what I think about when I think about home inspection. So many
Mhm.
people think it is an optional
Yeah.
item under
Yeah.
the guise that people have, I guess, you know, uh, morale and will do things right, but that is not always the case. So I'm always pushing home inspections. And when I know I want it done right, I call you.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
try to give you the best information that I can.
Yes, you do. You
Yeah.
do a very thorough search, and I'm grateful for that. I do want to know how you decided to get into home inspections before we kind of talk about different realms of it.
Okay. Well, I I worked for a major oil company for 33 years.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
long time.
A long time. In two different. I worked offshore at one time, then I worked on the
Hmm.
refinery uh,
Okay.
for for 21 years. And after Katrina, my home that I was living in at the time was destroyed.
Right.
So I was displaced for over a year. And when homes were becoming available again in town in New Orleans, there I wanted to buy one.
Hmm.
So I found one after a 6-month search. I found one duplex, and didn't know anything about inspections.
Okay.
My realtor told me, okay, maybe you should have it inspected. I said, okay, well, that'd be a good idea. I guess that's a good
I get
idea.
right. You suggested it. Why don't I do
And
it?
so someone performed the inspection. I didn't get it before. I didn't get the report
Hmm.
until well after I had closed.
Wait. See, that's because that's before he knew me. Okay, I was not his realtor because that's not how that goes.
Yeah. Well,
That's crazy.
the guy I grew up with happened to be my realtor, but
Mm.
and yeah, I went back and forth with him a couple of times until I finally got it and
Hmm.
found out there was an issue on the roof that I didn't know about, and
Right.
he's sure eventually it did become a problem.
Yeah.
And so when I decided to retire from the oil company, so that may be it
An
may be something to
avenue.
do,
Yeah, absolutely.
because I know I got a bum deal with it,
Hmm.
and this is important for people to be able to have this some good information
Yeah.
on the property before they buy it. So that's how I decided to
Get
become a home
into it. I did
inspector.
not
Yeah,
know that. That's
yeah,
the idea of you closing on a home and not even knowing like basically what's under the hood. It's crazy.
yeah.
So
It is.
I feel
It is.
I'm sorry that that was your experience for
Yeah.
sure, but it happened. It needed to happen because then we got you as an inspector. You go through
Yeah.
things and then you want to protect people from what you went through. It's kind of why I got into real estate. Although I was blessed to be able to buy even when I wasn't in a position to, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
very faith based.
Mm-hmm.
But I think about how many realtors were not willing to work with me because my file was not very traditional.
Mm-hmm.
And that made me feel like I need to get into this field because a lot of files that I have are not going to be, easy black and white cookie cutter. And so that's how I got into real estate. So
Wow.
I think good people, when possible, when they have something that happens to them, they become part of the solution instead of just complaining
Yeah.
about the problem. So that's
Yeah.
what you did.
Yeah.
So a couple of things I want to mention to my audience, especially for like how your process went. So in general, when you find a house, you get it under contract. If the seller accepts it, you are under contract, you pay your earnest money deposit, and then you schedule inspections. And the
Yeah.
inspections consist of home inspection, termite, and video pipe inspection. There are some others
At
now.
the
They've
very
been
least.
added, right?
At the
The
very
very
least,
least, these
I would recommend
exactly
that to
the
everyone.
three, right? Exactly. And so after you do the inspections, you're supposed to receive that information so that you can review and either ask the seller to address some things, ask for maybe some compensation to fix some things, or walk away if it's completely horrible.
Yes.
Like if
Yeah.
it's just too much work. And so you didn't actually get the opportunity to do that in your
No.
deal.
No, I did not.
And so here you are now being an inspector. So for those who are listening, especially if you're right now in the process of buying, and you're working with an agent, your agent is supposed to get you that information. That's actually during your due diligence period.
Well, we are required as home inspectors to provide the inspection to our client within 5 days.
So basically, both of them failed you.
Yes.
Because I know my obligation as a realtor, right? I'm not knowing that you have to do that. I know you will because you know what I mean. But I didn't know that as an inspector you had to. So you were failed by both.
Yeah.
I mean, did you square up? You can tell me.
No. I mean, I just took it. I guess I took that one on the chin and went on. And just tried to make the best of it.
Do better, right?
and learn more about what actually the process was before because I looked into it a couple of times during, between that was 2006 when I bought the home, and then I finally retired in 2013. So a couple of times in between, I looked into what the home inspection business was about.
Okay.
And pulled the trigger when I finally retired.
Okay. And I love how you retired into another job.
Yeah. Well, I had to. I mean, the pension wasn't good.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's that's the the way of the land right now. The way of the land is that you have to sometimes carry multiple jobs. Sometimes retirement looks like another job, just maybe not the same capacity that you were doing before. But so we talked about home inspections and why you got into it. Let's talk about what are some of the big things that when you do inspections, if you find it's we need to kind of pause.
Oh, well, structural issues are I would say are the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Because they normally are the most costly.
And are.
If you have a slab that is leaning, it may be cracked. And the only way to repair a slab is to dig up underneath it, and that's a very costly proposition. They charge $150 a foot to tunnel.
Just the tunnel. That's not even to correct it. That's just
that's not. That's not the to actually jack it up and shim it to where it's level and be able and go from there. Then you have to backfill it. So correcting a slab foundation is costly.
Okay.
Raised homes aren't as bad because you can crawl up underneath them.
Yeah.
And set up the jack to where you can jack it and then just shim the shim the piers, or if they need to be in some cases they will need to be torn down and rebuilt. Or at the very least set plumb so that they will support the weight properly.
Yeah.
So it's not as costly
for a raise. So if you see huge structural issues on a slab, you're like, Stylist, let me talk to you.
Yeah.
Whenever you give me the look, I'm like, it's not the house.
Yeah.
Okay, what's another one aside from structural that's like
unless you're getting that home for a very good price?
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking like a fix or flip, right? We're talking like a traditional home buyer, right? Doing an inspection.
Yeah, when you want to get into it and live.
Yeah, and live, right?
You don't want to deal with
exactly
the cost of it.
Exactly,
and the inconvenience of repairing a slab foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say most of my fixer-uppers, investors, they don't even inspect the home. I hate to say that on record, but they don't. But that's because they're doing the work. So like whatever they find. But those houses are also like super cheap. They know you're getting what you paid for. So they're ready to take on. But I'm talking like first-time homeowners who sometimes don't even have a handyman on file, let alone a structural person they could call. So aside from structural, what's another thing that's like let's keep looking.
Well, of course, a roof can be rather costly as well. Electrical, any of them, really. I mean, depending to what extent the damage is. Plumbing. If you have an older home that has a cast iron line underneath it, or even if it's not cast iron,
plumbing.
Just whatever the material is. If that line is separated underneath the house, under the ground, or just clogged, where they can't jet it out. Then they have to dig it up and replace a section of it. Yeah. That's also rather costly.
Okay. So we talking any extensive electrical work is reason for caution or concern.
Yeah.
Roof is pricey. So, and these are also things you could ask to be repaired, but they're definitely something that needs to be addressed for sure. And then of
Sure.
course structural. What are some things you find that I think buyers get like really about, and you're like, no, it's actually not a big deal. I just have to tell you that this is happening.
That's I don't know, that's subjective to each and every person.
Your in your opinion.
I think they're more afraid of electrical problems than anything else. Even if I tell them like a lot of older homes the receptacles aren't grounded. So the system is grounded, but nowadays every receptacle, every light fixture, is supposed to be grounded.
Okay.
Which can cost a little bit if it's not, to do that. But they will shy away from an electrical issue pretty quickly.
Yes. And when you say grounded for our audience, what does that mean?
Well, grounding an electrical system is it's really a safety thing. It's where you have in an electrical system you have two wires, right? One brings the electricity to the home, and the other brings it back to the pole, because not every watt that you bring into the house is used. Some of it goes back to the pole. And it's put back onto the grid. But there's a third wire that's supposed to be there, a ground wire, which actually, and it's called a ground because it actually does go into the ground. And any stray electrical signals are supposed to be directed into the ground as a safety feature, to where it doesn't wind up somewhere where someone can accidentally come in contact with and be.
Got it. Yes. Okay. Grounded.
Yeah.
Got
so
that.
It's called grounding.
You see how we covered that? Because sometimes we throw out terms that we're accustomed to hearing, and it means nothing to them. I had a client that said, "Why is it grounded?" I said, "No, it's not punished. It's it just needs to be down to earth." I know for me, and this is, you do all my inspections, so the GFCI, sorry, is always the thing that like scares people, and it's really, you could just switch the outlet itself. It's not a rewiring situation.
No, it's not.
But they always get nervous about, it don't have they have me saying the acronym wrong, because they always say it, and I don't correct them as much anymore. So I'm like, yes, don't worry about the G. It's fine. We can just, so that's, I know for me, something that I see often when they see that it doesn't have like near water sources, they're like, oh, this is bad. And you're like, oh, no,
near water sources and any any plumbing fixtures in the home. If you have a receptacle there, it should be ground fault circuit protected. Yes,
that's what GFCI stands for. So that's the one I see most common. I'm like, it's a quick, easy, inexpensive fix actually. But like you say, with electrical, people are very concerned.
If the home is grounded in the
first place. If it's, and that's why you mentioned the ground, right? If the home is grounded in the first place. Yeah. But a lot of the newer homes are. It's the old. But we have a lot of old homes in New Orleans.
We do. We have a lot.
Yeah. That's something we. You know what else we ran into that was like new to me? Was it cloth wiring or something?
That's the old wiring was covered with cloth.
Yes, that was the first for me. It was like 5 years ago now, but I was like, cloth, because that, to me, that sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
Like it just sounds dangerous.
I mean, in most cases it's not, because the actual conductors were covered with a rubber or something like that, so it was insulated from the cloth. But if it's in a spot where you do get a short, that cloth can catch fire, and then
And that's my visual when you say cloth. The first time you told me, you're like, oh, everything looks good in the house. It is old, so there's cloth wiring. I'm like, cloth wiring? The house is about to burn down.
That's the way it was all made back in the day.
That's crazy. I had never heard of that before. But so that was a new thing for me. And then also codes are always changing too.
Yeah.
So how do you keep up with that as a home inspector?
Well, we're not actually required to keep up with codes.
Oh, I did not know.
No, we're not code inspectors.
Okay.
It's helpful to know the code, so that you can inform your client that something is not done to code. But we're not actually code inspectors, and we're not required to
keep up
know
with
code. And keep up with all the changes. Every 3 years, the National Residential Code comes out, and so there's minor changes every 3 years to it. But so it would be hard to keep up with.
Yes. I didn't know. I just assumed that you did because you often say this is not up to code. So I'm like, well, you must be staying on all the codes. Like,
well,
you study codes in the spare time.
I have acquired my ICC building code inspection certificate. So I do know something about it. Yeah, I do know some. I do quite a bit. But I, as far as everything like a builder would know or a plumber would know about that trade in that system, I'm not
as extensive.
No,
okay, that makes sense. Because you've corrected some of my contractors, so that's I would have bet money on it, to be honest. I'm talking on new builds, you know what I mean? Like it's a new build, and you're like, no, this is not up to code. I'm like, they are getting.
A lot of contractors aren't really built, aren't familiar with code, and they're not really even skilled in doing the work. They just know how to tell. Yeah, they just know how to tell you, okay, I'll hire you to do this.
Yeah. And so I'm glad you said that. Who they get?
Then they depend on their subcontractor.
Yes. To know what they're doing. Yeah, that's accurate. And the subcontractors don't have to be licensed. So or at least they have used subcontractors that don't have to be licensed. Right. Yeah. Right. They have to be licensed, and they pull the whatever, but then they give the work to non-licensed people. Yeah, and that's not to say that they can't be qualified because they're not licensed, but it is something that is very common.
That's very true. Subcontractors don't have to be licensed.
Yeah, and I'm saying that for the purpose of saying, because sometimes it's a misconception of like, if it's a new construction, I don't need a home inspection. And you and I both know I've seen new constructions in worse condition than a 20, 30-year-old home.
That's very true.
At all times, you should be inspecting inspecting that
everything.
Home.
Yes.
Everything. Okay. So you mentioned, because I said home, video pipe, and termite. You said at the least. Tell me some of the newer inspections that are becoming more common now.
Well, right now I use a drone to inspect the roof. I don't climb. I don't climb on roofs very, very, very often anymore. And another thing that I've recently acquired as well, that's another tool that's helpful in home inspection, is a thermal imaging camera.
Okay.
Where you can see things, or it'll give you an indication of things going on that you can't see with your eye. Yeah, and it gives you infrared. It detects infrared light, which shows you just temperature differentials. Okay. Is really what it is, and with that you can tell whether or not you have a possible leak.
Okay.
Plumbing leak or a hot spot in an electrical system.
Okay.
That could present a problem, and it would require you to go a little further to see what that is. But it is something that is a good tool that I believe is going to help me and help give my clients, a better insight as to what's going on with the home.
And is this like, because I don't think I've seen you use this tool just yet.
I haven't.
You haven't got, okay. Because you always show me all the new tools. I am forever a learner and a student. You know that. I like to know that, even if I'm like, even when we first started working together and you get in your suit to get under the house, I'm like, okay, so what you checking under the house, and what, so I like to be in the know, and I'm like, I don't remember us playing with that tool.
No, I haven't yet. I just recently got it, and I said, business has been so slow, I haven't had a real chance to use it.
Okay. Yeah, the market is, it's different right now. The market is, but I also feel like it's because a lot of people are not educated about the process, which is why, this is one of the reasons I wanted to do the podcast, because there's a lot of misinformation out there, a lot of inaccurate and wrong, and sometimes it can make people stray away from it. And I think home ownership and just really owning anything is very important too. And I don't think it's something anyone should stray away from. You should just be knowledgeable so that you're not getting a home that's going to cost you thousands of dollars. You don't feel cheated. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to give them the tools so that that's not the situation. Because I would say right now we have more houses on the market than we have buyers. And so it's been a buyer's market, which is great for my buyers. Everybody I've had as far as walking away, with money, because the sellers are willing to do closing costs, and I get them down payment assistance. So it's a good time for them. But I think my other buyers are, timid and shy with all of the changes they've seen, and then just not feeling equipped. So that's kind of what I'm trying to, bridge the gap or what have you. So we will get to use that equipment soon is what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
So
Next
is
time you
it,
see me,
yes, I'll be like,
I'll pull
where is
it
it?
out.
So is this something when you go in that you can see in the room itself, or are we talking through walls?
Well, it's
Don't
not
judge
through
me. I
walls.
need to
It's
know.
not through
Okay.
walls. It's a reflection of um, temperature differentials.
Okay.
Is what it is. It's not X-ray.
Okay.
It just
I'm
gives
sorry.
you,
I just it sound like
if,
fun.
if there's say a water leak in a
Mhm.
wall
Mhm.
that you can't, you're not seeing it as far as the sheetrock showing
Mhm.
it peeling or something like that. The camera will pick up the temperature differential, and then, like I said, I could use my moisture meter,
Yeah.
whereas I probably wouldn't have
Because you don't see any
before that,
indication
because I
of
don't
it,
see anything,
right?
any visual
Indication to pull it
problem.
out. Yeah.
So that that's what
That's how it
that's how it's
works.
going to work.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's how it's going to be. I'm going to be able to give more information
Got
than
it.
before.
Okay. No X-ray, but I'm still very excited to use
Yeah.
this tool. Okay. And so I guess I'll segue into saying, even if you're not using me as your agent, you should be calling Mr. Kenneth, because that is why I love working with you. The idea that you're forever trying to see how you can better serve your clients. Because I mean,
Absolutely.
I've never heard of this tool that you're using. And to be honest with you, the moisture tool that you use, I didn't see when I first got in and we hadn't met yet. I hadn't seen any other.
Really?
No, they would just say, "Oh, this is wet. There might have been a possible leak." That's it. Where you could have put it on there and said, "This is, it's active or not active." Like it looks, because when you see wet wood, it's gonna forever look like wet wood, but it may not actually be wet anymore. It could have been a previous, leak, and they just never repainted or what. Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And so prior to working with you, I was just told there was a leak. Don't know if it's active. Don't know. Da, da, da. Like, it's just some people get very dismissive. So I'm saying to you, you do an amazing job and you go above and beyond.
Thank you.
And I'm very appreciative of you. And I don't care how good of a pep talker I am. I couldn't do my job without you, because I also need somebody to solidify that this home that my client and I may have fallen in love with is actually a home that's going to love them back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So can you tell me one of the funniest things you have found in your home inspection?
That's kind of hard. I don't know.
I mean, you could do like a top three.
I'm one of those. I need something to stimulate my memory.
Okay.
A visual or something, but I can't. Kind of hard to. To single out something right
I mean, I understand you've been doing it for a while too.
Yeah.
I have, I guess, things that I never forget, and so that's why I said it. Like I remember one of my colleagues found termites in the inside of a wall for new construction, which was, I always tell my clients that story when they say, "Oh, it's new, I don't need to inspect it." And then I remember showing a house on the West Bank one time, and there was a tree growing in the pool, like a full tree. So, you I mean, that's just something you never forget. So I didn't know if you had like one of those where you're like, I cannot believe that this is the situation.
I probably have. It's just not coming to me right now. I know I found like a brand new home. I found a water leak in the home. I was walking around the outside of it, and I see water coming from out of the brick onto the slab. I could see. Well, that looks.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it apparently, and sure enough, I went back inside and put my moisture meter on the wall in that area and found that it was wet. So apparently during the construction they hit a water line beneath a screw or a nail or something like that.
And so it was leaking inside the wall.
It was leaking inside the wall. Yes.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That is a big deal. And it looks just normal, but one day.
Yeah.
One day it all goes wrong.
Yep.
So
for sure. Yeah,
well,
it's only a matter of time before it starts leaking in the home.
In the home, exactly. And then the mold and smell and all other kind of things.
Good stuff. Yeah.
So
I'm too far.
Well, well, I do really appreciate you taking time to just break down the importance of home inspections, kind of and you tell them what all a home inspection covers, since there's so many different types of inspections. When you do a home inspection, what are you checking?
Well, as home inspectors, we check. Our major focus is safety, functionality.
Okay.
And those are the two major things that cover us. Our inspections. We're looking to make sure that the home functions as it should, and that any safety issues are discovered
Mm-hmm.
and are passed on to the client.
Yeah.
Because any safety issue, excuse me, any safety issue has to be repaired.
Yeah.
If it's in the report, it has to be repaired. And we so going into the attic, say, as part of the roof inspection, we go into the attic, and we're looking to see that the penetrations through the roof, like the plumbing vents, the chimneys, like or and the like the furnace vents,
Mm-hmm.
are properly done. Because
Okay.
if you can have a chimney or plumbing vent that's like off of a furnace
Mm-hmm.
touching the wood, then that's a potential
Yeah.
problem. That's a potential fire.
Fire hazard.
So that's one of the safety issues we're looking for, and you do see them a lot. And or the vent, like off of a furnace, isn't connected properly off of a plumbing, a water heater,
Mm-hmm.
where now you're allowing carbon monoxide
Mm-hmm.
to escape and possibly get into the living area, which could, it's just
terminal.
just kill you.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Put
It's a
it
big
put
deal.
it simply, it can
Yeah.
kill you.
And that's actually a good way to segue into why it's very, very important. I mean, because you know what? Before that comment, more so when people are listening, or even when I'm thinking about home inspections, I think about the money you don't want to lose on things you didn't know, right? Like, oh, I didn't know there was a break in the plumbing. Now I have to pay thousands of dollars. I have to pay thousands on structural. But there is a ladder of you don't have to pay anything because you lose your life from carbon monoxide, from the house blowing up, from electrical fires. So really, this is not even just about saving money, but also saving lives.
Saving lives, for sure.
You didn't even know you were
Absolutely.
You're a hero. You are a hero. There's doctors and then there's you. So this is very important. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I would not have thought to think about the terminal side of things. Although I'm aware, because that's why we say, oh, we need to get this done, right? But yeah, this is very, very important.
Absolutely.
So that being said, if you are in the market to buy, even if you already own your home, like if you didn't get a home inspection, it's never too late to get a home inspection. And I also say that when people want to renovate their home and they've never had an inspection done, to get it checked before, because you may fix on something that was already wrong. So if that is you in any capacity, make sure you call Mr. Kenneth, and I'm going to let you tell them how to get in contact with you if they need your services.
Well, of course, you can call me at 504-453-6917. You can visit my website and shoot me an email from there. And
what's your website?
My website is kpmhomeinspections.com.
kpmhomeinspections.com.
Yes.
Okay, so you can contact him via the email or the phone number, but whatever you do, do not move into that home until somebody has inspected it, preferably Mr. Kenneth. Thank y'all for joining us. Make sure you send us DMs, message us, email us, let us know what you're wanting to see, and also what you're loving that you're seeing. Like if you had a guest on that you love and you wanted more information from them, be sure to let us know and we will bring them back. Remember to follow us on IG at It's Giving Realty Podcast. Also, you can follow us on TikTok at It's Giving Realty Podcast, or you can email us at stylist@realestatewithstyle.org. Whatever you do, just get in touch. Okay, until next time.